All humans have a right to life and a good quality of life.
And you never think that you're going to be the one.
Newborn screening would have changed the amount of damage that was done.
There's no cure when the disorders do finally present.
We just need to get the word out there that there is this test.
There is a right to care for all children.
So early testing is vital.
I urge all new parents to insist on newborn screening, as it can change everything. Early detection saves lives.
I'm Mikaeel, guys, and I was diagnosed when I was about a year old with cystic fibrosis. Yeah.
My name is Human Metabolomics. I am the grandmother to Mikaeel. The day Mikaeel was born, my first kiss to his forehead told me something was not right. It was very salty. The doctors were not very keen to do any cystic fibrosis tests because according to the textbooks, both parents have to be CF carriers, and at that time the idea was that it's a Caucasian disease. So for the first 18 months he had no conclusive diagnosis. Newborn screening would have changed the amount of damage that was done while he was misdiagnosed. He has got lesions on his lungs which are not reversible. So he will never optimize with his lung function. So he will go up to the 60s and maybe 70. But there is some damage that was done in the early years which could have been avoided had he been with the right treatment plan. When you have a child, you want the best for your child, and when you don't know what is actually wrong with him, it's a very horrific journey. It's not only the core family that is traumatized, but our extended families and friends as well. With cystic fibrosis, if they don't have prion, they're not going to absorb that because they don't have the digestive enzymes. And this is one of the key things that would have played a big role in that first 18 months of his life. If he had the digestive enzymes, he would not have become as frail, as weak, and also the nebulizing, the physio would have played a great part. So that would have given him a better quality of life from day one if he was screened. For me, he's the most important person, always. We're fortunate to still have him.
My name is Layla and I am Mikael's mum. Had he been screened as a newborn, it would have saved this family a whole lot of stress, misdiagnosis, the financial and emotional strain that was put on our family, prevented the already permanent lung damage that he has, because he would have had access to nebulizers. We would have known to nebulize him. He went 18 months without being nebulized, which caused permanent damage to his lungs till today. I mean, he needs crayons to digest food. It took my child 6 years to start eating food after crayon was introduced to him because he associated food with pain. Because he would get stomach cramps and I'm gonna cry. If it was not for my family, I don't think Mika would have made it. The support that they gave us was immense.
So before I started the meds, the Trikafta specifically, I was basically almost dead. My lung function was 26% and I basically couldn't do anything. It was either I'd have a lung transplant and that wouldn't last, or it was this medication, and this medication came through and has increased my life expectancy tenfold to a point where I can basically see my grandkids if I have children, so which is a lot better. And now I gym 6 times a week. I go to gym, my appetite is back to normal, and I'm eating 3-4 meals a day like a normal person should. My mental health also. I was very sad, but now I see life differently, like a second chance almost.
My name is Roxy Berger. I am a mom to 2 amazing kids, one of which has a rare condition, and it was diagnosed through the newborn screening. So when I found out about the heel prick, I didn't even know that it had been done on my child. So I only found out about the newborn screening when I got my child's diagnosis. I was very lucky that we were in a private hospital because the newborn screening is not mandatory in South Africa. The newborn screening is basically a heel prick test. They just prick the baby's heel. It's not very invasive. I know that it seems like super stressful when your child is so tiny, but it's really not that bad. And they test the blood for a variety of different congenital disorders and diseases. It's precautionary medicine because a lot of the conditions that they test for, if caught early, are very treatable. And that's why it is such an important test to do. If my child hadn't been diagnosed at birth, here's an example of what could have happened. They lose an IQ point a week, I think, of brain damage that's irreversible. So if she hadn't gotten the medication that she'd gotten at birth, she would have eventually it's called failure to thrive. She would have ended up in NICU. She would have had complications thereafter. There are children in our country with her condition who have not been diagnosed, who are physically and mentally disabled, and it could be prevented with a 40 Rand medication a month. If you're unsure about having the heel prick test done, I always say when I describe our journey, for my daughter with congenital hypothyroidism, the stat is 1 in 4,000. And you never think that you're going to be the one. You always think, 1 in 4,000, it's such a small chance, or 1 in 2,000, or 1 in 10,000. But there has to be that one. There's always the one. And if you are that one, you would rather know about it so that you can help your child and that you can give them the medication that they need and the medical assistance that they need. So I think it's just so important that we all are knowledgeable about the newborn screening and understand that it's a non-invasive test. And it's just so great that we are able to do this for our children. So if you're hesitant, please don't be.
So my name is Dr. Tumelo Satsege. I'm a chemical pathologist. How newborn screening works is that it's directed at early diagnosis of congenital disorders to save lives and prevent lifelong disabilities. So our area of interest is in the biochemical newborn screening, whereby you take a sample from the baby's heel prick to measure specific analyses that are associated with specific congenital disorders. So we need to measure this analyze from 24-hour and 72-hour periods to be able to make a diagnosis of the various congenital disorders. So from my personal experience, unfortunately, the patients that I've seen, they have not undergone newborn screening. So as a result, we see them with complications because of late diagnosis, except for one patient that I remember well, which had a newborn screening for congenital hypothyroidism. So the diagnosis was made early and the patient was put on thyroxine early on. And then because of that, they were able to develop normally, neurologically, and they continue to excel at school. And this would have been possible if it wasn't for newborn screening. So the National Metabolic Platform, it is actually the only platform that offers comprehensive newborn screening in South Africa. It actually offers the service whereby they screen about 22 disorders. So the platform is actually, they have the technology, they have the expertise, they have the experience of comprehensive newborn screening in South Africa. And in South Africa, we really need that to advance newborn screening.
Most centres in South Africa that look after newborn babies are screening for thyroid deficiency. And the reason we do that is that if babies are born with a thyroid problem, by the time you can pick it up clinically, the child will have already suffered developmental delay and growth delay. So similar to the thyroid hormone, we have another test called the newborn screen, where we test for 24 inherited disorders. So each individual disorder is very rare, but if you add up the cumulative risk of all those disorders, the child has a 1 in 1,500 to a 1 in 5,000 chance of having one of these disorders. When they present, the child may start fitting at 6 months of age, and the damage is done. There's no going back. So there is a preventative measure at birth, but there's no cure when the disorders do finally present. So I strongly recommend that my patients have the newborn screen, and we like to practice preventative medicine, and we like to keep our newborns safe. So if we think of a metabolic disorder, we can liken it to a gold mine that has got various processing plants with conveyor belts between each one. So if one of those processing plants suddenly stops working, there'll be a huge backup before that processing plant on the conveyor belts, and then the material will dam up. So similarly with the metabolic disorder, if you get too much backup because of a missing enzyme, then you will start storing the metabolites that are used up in that process within the body. And that includes structures like the brain and the heart and the lungs and the liver and even muscles. And if that backup starts happening, the damage is done, and one can no longer go back to having a normal situation with your child because those products that have been stored in those tissues will ultimately not allow your child to function normally. Healthcare professionals in South Africa must understand that all humans have a right to life and a good quality of life. And that's why in the modern practices, we mainly practicing preventative medicine. And introducing a newborn screen into your practice is critical because it's a right to care. So there are rare disorders, but it is a right to care of every individual.